हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अनदर लेक्चर ऑन यूनिफॉर्म प्लेन वेव्स। अभी तक हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे इंट्रिंसिक इम्पीडेंस और कैसे हम लोग उसको यूज़ कर सकते हैं, राइट। अब हम क्या करेंगे, अलग अलग मीडियम में इसका बिहेवियर को स्टडी करते हैं, राइट। तो चलिए सबसे फर्स्ट हम लोग देखते हैं वेव प्रोपगेशन इन लॉसी डाइलेक्ट्रिक, राइट। वेव प्रोपगेशन इन लॉसी डाइलेक्ट्रिक मीडियम, राइट। फ्री स्पेस के बारे में हम लोग पहले ही जान चुके हैं। फ्री स्पेस में क्या होता है, हमारा चार्ज फ्री रीजन है, रो इक्वल टू जीरो, रो भी इक्वल टू जीरो, और हमारा जेसी इक्वल टू जीरो हो जाता है, राइट। और उसको फिर आप फेजर फॉर्म में लिखेंगे तो जस्ट डेल्टा टी डोल बाय डोल टी को आप रिप्लेस कर दीजिए जे ओमेगा से, राइट। सो वी कैन गेट इजीली दोस फोर मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन इन द फ्री स्पेस प्रोपगेशन, राइट। तो नेक्स्ट हम लोग डाइलेक्ट्रिक्स के बारे में पढ़ते हैं। इन लॉसी डाइलेक्ट्रिक मीडियम हमारा कैसा बिहेवियर होता है, राइट। तो फर्स्ट हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि मैक्सवेल्स इक्वेशन को लिखते हैं इन लॉसी डाइलेक्ट्रिक मीडियम, राइट। तो हमारा मैक्सवेल इक्वेशन सबसे फर्स्ट हम लिखते हैं कर्ल ऑफ, अच्छा इन टर्म्स ऑफ फेजर लिखते हैं, राइट। एच ऑफ एस इक्वल टू हाउ मच, हमारा क्या था जे सी प्लस जे डी था, राइट। तो जे सी के लिए हम लोग एच एस इक्वल टू लॉसी डाइलेक्ट्रिक मीडियम में हमारा क्या है कि इट्स अ डाइलेक्ट्रिक but that's not a perfect dielectric. There is some loss due to the conduction, that is the conduction loss, right. That is sigma is not equal to zero. There are some of the conduction due to which the losses occur, right. So curl of hs is equal to jc plus jd. jc हमारा क्या है sigma into es, right. और हमारा jd क्या है, if you will replace dou by dou t with j omega, so we can directly write j omega epsilon into es, right. ये सब हमारा वेक्टर है, right. So we can put it vector, right, right. अब यदि आप इस इक्वेशन में es कॉमन ले लें, right. So you can write this equation as sigma plus j omega epsilon es vector, right. So we take it this as our equation 1. Right. Then we write the second equation of Maxwell, that is curl of Es equal to minus dou V by dou T. So we can represent it in the phasor form as minus j omega mu into Hs. Right. This is vector, right? And similarly for, we will go for the third and the fourth equation, that is the divergence of electric flux density is equal to rho b, and here rho b is equal to 0. So we can directly write the divergence of electric field is equal to 0, right. And similarly the divergence of magnetic field intensity is equal to 0. That represents divergence of H vector is equal to 0. This one is our third equation and this one is our fourth equation, right. So now we will derive the propagation constant, and we will also take into account there is a loss due to loss. So we will also take into account the alpha, and we will find out the values of alpha as well as the beta, right. So let's start. So from this equation, equation number 2, right, if we will take the curl on the both side of the equation 2, taking curl on both sides of equation 2, both sides of equation 2, what will we get? Es, right, is equal to minus j omega mu curl of Hs, right. And what we know that if we will find out the curl of Es is equal to what? That will be equal to equal to, that is the gradient of divergence of Es, right. Gradient of divergence of Es right, minus Laplacian square of Es. That is equal to how much? Minus j omega mu into curl of Hs. Right. Right. So from this equation 3, right? From equation 3, what you see that the divergence of electric field intensity is equal to 0. So our this term will be equal to 0, right? So substituting this one, and we will get Laplacian of this equation equal to minus j omega mu curl of Hs, right? So this one is also a vector. So minus cancels out, right? So we are left with this form of equation, right? Now from equation 1, right? From equation 1, we have the value of curl of H, right? So putting this in the equation, so let it be equation 5. So from equation 1, if you will see in the A1 equation 1, this equation, right? We have the value of curl of H of S, that is sigma plus j omega E, right? So we will put it in the equation number 5. So our new equation will be Laplacian of Es will be equal to j omega mu, right? Instead of curl of H of S, we will write what? We will write sigma plus j omega epsilon into S, right? J omega mu to sigma plus j omega epsilon S, right? So now we will further simplify this equation and take this right hand side part to the left hand side, and we will write this equation as Es minus j omega mu sigma plus j omega epsilon Es equal to 0, right? Equal to 0, right? Now further simplifying this one, so we have a big term. This one term is with the electric field intensity, right? So we take this term as gamma square, right? We take this term as a gamma square, right? So the value of gamma square, we take it as j omega mu sigma plus j omega epsilon, right? So this one is gamma square. Gamma square is a complex quantity since the j operator is involved here, so it is a complex quantity. So we can write gamma equal to alpha plus j beta, where alpha is real part and beta is the imaginary part, right? So we have taken into account, so we can further simplify this equation in a short form, abbreviated form, and we can write it as whole square Es minus gamma square Es equal to 0, right? So this one is the equation for our wave in a lossy dielectric medium, in lossy dielectric medium, right? Now we have to focus on the gamma part, right? We have taken alpha plus j beta, alpha plus j beta equal to j omega. If you will expand this one gamma square part, right, and we will take into account, so we will take a gamma square part. So this alpha plus j beta square is equal to j omega mu into sigma plus j omega epsilon, right? So if you will square this term, it will be alpha square minus beta square plus 2j alpha beta, and it will expand this right hand side part also, so it will be j omega mu sigma and product of j into j, that is equal to minus and omega into omega square to mu into epsilon, right? So now it will see compare the LHS part and RHS part, we will have two parts. First one is the real part and the second one is the imaginary part. So this one is the real part and this one is the imaginary part. Real part and this one is imaginary part. So similarly this one is imaginary part and this one is the real part. So from here what we can take into account that comparing both sides, real part and the imaginary part, so alpha square minus beta square is equal to how much? It's equal to minus omega square into mu epsilon, right? And similarly we have 2 alpha beta is equal to how much? Comparing the imaginary part, we have omega mu into sigma, right? Omega mu into sigma, right? So take this equation as equation A and take this equation as equation B, right? Now we can further simplify, right? We have to find out the actual value of alpha and beta, right? So alpha square minus beta square is given. So if we can find the value of alpha square plus beta square, we can directly add them to eliminate one of the values and we can find out the square root. Then we can easily find the value of either alpha or beta, right? So we have to first, our goal is to find the value of alpha square plus beta square, right? So alpha square plus beta square, right? Its whole square will be, if you will write this whole square, you can write it as alpha square minus beta square whole square plus 2 times alpha beta whole square, right? यदि आप इसको सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे तो अल्फा स्क्वायर प्लस बीटा का होल स्क्वायर को आप इस फॉर्म में लिख सकते हैं, राइट? तो ये वैल्यू हमको पहले से पता है और ये भी हमको पता है, राइट? तो डायरेक्टली हम इसमें पुट करेंगे माइनस ओमेगा स्क्वायर म्यू एप्सिलॉन, राइट, इसका स्क्वायर प्लस 2 अल्फा बीटा का वैल्यू भी हमको पता है ओमेगा म्यू सिग्मा स्क्वायर, राइट? सो दिस वन इज अल्फा ओमेगा स्क्वायर टू द पावर 4 और म्यू स्क्वायर एप्सिलॉन स्क्वायर प्लस ओमेगा स्क्वायर म्यू स्क्वायर सिग्मा स्क्वायर. So this is the value of what? Alpha square plus beta square whole square, right? So further simplifying this equation, right? So we will get alpha square plus beta square is equal to what? Take the square root. So this one is omega to the power 4 mu square epsilon square plus omega square mu square sigma square, right? So take this equation as equation C. Now we have alpha square plus beta square value and we have alpha square minus beta square value in equation A. So now we can add equation A and C to get the value of alpha. So adding equation A and equation C. So this equation and the previous equation of alpha square plus beta square, alpha square minus beta square, right? So adding both the equation, what we will get? 2 alpha square, right? Minus beta square plus beta square, both will cancel out and we will left with this part omega to the power 4 mu square epsilon square plus omega square mu square sigma square, and we have the term from right hand side part of the equation A, right? So this one is minus omega square mu epsilon. So we can write minus omega square mu epsilon, right? So now taking omega square mu epsilon as common, so taking omega square and mu epsilon common, what we will get? We will get 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon square minus 1. Right, we will get omega square, this term, right? So this one is what? 2 alpha square. Therefore, our alpha square will be taking into account alpha square will be half of this one. So omega square mu epsilon by 2, and this term 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon square minus 1. Right. Now taking the square root on both sides, we will get alpha equal to a square root of omega square will be omega. So we take our omega outside our square root, and this one is our mu epsilon by 2 into root of 1 plus sigma by omega into epsilon square minus 1. Right, so this one is the value of alpha. Right, so this one is the value of alpha. Right, similarly we have to find out the value of beta. Right, so we have two beautiful equation A and equation C. Right, so there is alpha square minus beta square, and there alpha square plus beta square. So if we have to find out the value of beta square, then what we have to do? We have to subtract equation A from equation C. Right, we have to subtract equation A from equation C. Right, so we will write subtracting equation A from equation C. Right, so what we will get? So and we will further simplify this one. So equation A from equation C, so let's write it is 2 beta square equal to equation C is omega to the power 4 mu square epsilon square omega to the power 4 mu square epsilon square plus omega square mu square sigma square. Right, and we have to subtract equation A. So equation A is minus omega square mu, so minus minus plus omega square plus mu, so plus omega square mu epsilon. Right, so now we have to take the omega square mu epsilon as common. Right, so taking omega square mu is common. Right, and we will write this equation as 1 plus sigma square omega square epsilon square, and this one will be plus 1. Right, so now taking these two in the right hand side, we'll get beta square is equal to omega square mu epsilon by 2, and this term as 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon square plus 1. Right, and to find out the value of beta, we take out the square root on the both sides of the equation. So beta will be equal to omega mu epsilon by 2, and we have this term 1 plus sigma by omega epsilon whole square plus 1. So this one is the value of beta. Right, so we have found out the value of alpha, and we have also found out the value of beta. Right, so alpha is our attenuation constant and beta is our phase shift constant. Right, so our first concern is to find out those differential equations that we have solved here. Where is the equation? So this equation, right? So we have to find out, and we have to solve this equation. We have to find out the roots of this equation, right? So I'm going to find the roots of this equation. Right, so we have the equation del square. First we have to write what actually it is written in this form. So it is written as del square E s minus gamma square Es equal to 0, right? So this one is Laplacian operator, right? And we already know that the field in uniform plane waves, there is no field existing in the direction of the propagation. All the field will exist in the transverse plane, and the magnitude of this field will be constant. Therefore, the partial differentiation of the magnitude of these fields will result into 0. So we will expand this one, so we can write it as del square E s by del x square plus del square Es by del square plus del square Es del z square minus gamma square Es equal to 0. And we already know that in the transverse plane the electric field and magnetic field lie, and their amplitude is constant. So if you will take the partial differentiation of these amplitudes, we will simply get 0. So this term will be equal to 0 and this term will be equal to 0. So we are left with only this term. So you can write directly del square Es by del z square minus gamma Es equal to 0, right? So this is in the form of a partial differential equation, and if you will solve this equation, m square minus gamma square is equal to 0. Therefore m is equal to plus minus gamma, right? So if so we can write the equation as in the form Es equal to since we have the real part as well as the complex part, so we'll take into account only the real part. So we will write real part into we have already taken C1 and C2, so we are going to take C3 into e to the power minus gamma z, right, and plus C4 into e to the power plus gamma z, where gamma is what? Gamma is the propagation constant, right? Gamma is the propagation constant, right? So since we know that gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta, right? So substituting in the above equation, what we'll get? Es equal to real part of C3 e to the power minus alpha z into minus what? We will get beta z. So beta is in imaginary part. Similarly, C4 into e to the power plus alpha z into e to the power plus j beta z. Right. Now we will take into consideration our time also. So we will include the time. We have to take out this Es part, and we will write E as real part into C3 e to the power minus alpha z to e to the power minus j beta z into e to the power j omega t, right? And similarly for C4 e to the power alpha z into e to the power plus j beta z into e to the power j omega t, right? So we will write this equation as real part and taking into account C3 e to the power minus alpha z into e to the power j omega t minus beta z plus C4 into e to the power alpha z e to the power j omega t plus beta z, right? So we have two terms, right? So we have two terms, term 1 and term 2, right? So what we see here, we have another attenuation constant alpha, right? That directly affects the amplitude of the signal, propagating signal, both in the term 1 and in the term 2, right? So if you will see directly, we can say that this one is the incident part, and this one is the reflected part. So if wave is propagating in the positive z direction, we have to take into account only the term 1. We have to neglect the term 2 to avoid the unnecessary complexity, right? So what we see here, we have two parts, the alpha part and the beta part, right? So alpha is directly affecting our amplitude. So we can write C3 e to the power minus alpha z part, and we have another second part, that is j omega t minus beta z. So this part, right, is the amplitude part. So this one is alpha, so don't get confused, right? So the amplitude is dependent upon the alpha value, right? So as the distance z value will change, so this is the distance. So if the if you will move the distance, accordingly the amplitude of the signal will change, right? So amplitude of the signal will change, and this part is our what? Phase part. The phase part will remain constant in a uniform plane wave. So what happens? So since this is an exponential function, falling exponential function, right? So it will look like that. So amplitude will start falling. C3 to the power minus alpha z. So the amplitude is decreasing exponentially and with the increasing time, right? So we can set this is the time and this is our amplitude. So whenever we have to use this equation, we have to always take into mind if the wave is propagating in the positive z direction, we have to use the term 1, and if the wave is propagating in the negative z direction, we have to use the term 2, right? And to avoid unnecessary complexity, we are not going to use both the terms simultaneously, right? So I am ending my lecture here. We will discuss further in the next lecture. Thank you very much.